Peekaboo. Thank you for your patience. We are here live for day 2 of Diddy's trial. I'm at my satellite office. I'm hoping y'all can hear me okay. I don't have all my stuff, but I am here. We got a lot to get into, but because we're going live, I need to give it a couple minutes, give people a chance to get the notification and whatnot. So if you are in the replay, go ahead and skip ahead about 6.5 minutes. If you're in the chat and the bushes, I appreciate your patience. There's a lot going on today with this trial, so let's not waste any more time. I'll be right back.
What? Look. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. 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 Huh? They talking about nothing. Aye. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. 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 Huh? They talking about nothing. Peekaboo, how you put them bookers in my chain? Peekaboo, 80 pointers like a Kobe game. Peekaboo, 7.62s a make a pain. Peekaboo, but now you better spell my name. Peekaboo, 2 foreigns on the 4-5. Peekaboo, got you pepper head from doing pasta. Peekaboo, why you acting tough on that G-Live? Peekaboo, you know I know niggas off they rocker. Peekaboo, 5 bitches, that nigga chicken cheese. Peekaboo, me first time I up, bitch, I'm in the street. Peekaboo, it's AGs, I'm putting something to sleep. Peekaboo, on the ground, I praise God, I'm still stumping feet. Peekaboo, putting on this face, bitch, my shooter playing. Peekaboo, I hit it from the back, I told her move her hand. Peekaboo, inside my thumb in where her at. Peekaboo, your top, I'm with that bitch, don't look back. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. 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 They talking about nothing. Hey, that's my bitch. Hey, that's my bitch. Hey, with all that fake shit. Hey, ain't the one to play with. Hey, call off in a line, never fucked all that times. Mister, get off on your lands. If he hate disrespect, you better follow up with hands. Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophy up, I'm saying like, damn, the type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand. The type of skits I'm on, you wouldn't understand. Dog business, I would not hold your hand. Bitch business, I cannot be your man. Never got his ass whooping to me. Open up that can. Damn, I need holding these bands on the song. G freak bitch, I like my Mac touching. Yeah, I'm petty option around me. I'm a kitty predator off. Her what happened to your man? Not sorry for your loss. Should've prayed before the shoes came and nailed to the cross. I let your boy get past, bitch. You lucky you saw it. For real. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. 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 They talking about nothing. Aye, what they talking about? They talking about nothing. 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 They talking about nothing. Peekaboo.
we go. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Where's my little thingy? Yes, peace, world, peace. Welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks. I'm Goddess Dawn, the one, the only. I also go by the $1 trillion goddess, honey. It's a mindset, a frequency, and a vibe. Get into it. They also call me the queen of info, okay? Because I be bringing it. Give me a chance, child. I appreciate your patience. If you've been waiting these few minutes, if you're in the replay, what's going on? Drop me a comment. Let me know you popped in. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat, the chosen ones, the warriors, personal highs, because it's important to me. I see you, my Ohio queen, Michelle. Yes, ma'am. UK Faye in the building. Black Letter Law. Yes. Wow, Wayne, thank you for holding it down as always. Nia X. Yes, ma'am. Let's get it. Here to get it, honey. Love Queen, aka Beautiful Spirit. Happy Tuesday to you. Peace and love to you as well. I know you will be in the replay. I don't see my Juti. Hi, Truly Lolly. Welcome. Hello to you. Oh, there's Juti. Yes. Okay, now I could get started. Hello to you. Where's Baby Yoda? Oh, shoot. Baby Yoda in the building. Thank you for the bells, love. I appreciate you. How'd I scroll past baby Yoda like that? How dare me? I appreciate you, Juti, and I appreciate you being here. Okay, now there's a lot going on. I'm pretty sure if you've been on the internet at all today, you have seen headlines, clips. You may even watch news, or you probably watched some news live streams, and as well as other YouTubers. But none of that matters in this moment because we are here right now. And we finna go to court. So I need you to put on your inside voice for court. Okay. Turn off your devices and all that good stuff. As you see on the screen, Cassie did come in to testify. And like I said, you probably already seen all the headlines. This is the picture TMZ had up of her when she was on her way to court. So the picture, I guess it's not too far-fetched. I don't know if they made her look a little old and a little witchy-pooey, but she's definitely pregnant. Like I said, there's a lot of testimony today. So I'm not going to waste no more time. I want to get right into court. I'm ready to, Faye. I tried to stay away from some stuff. I did see some things after the court stuff. I'm going to show that I have some things to say about too. A couple of extras after this. So don't leave me. Okay. She is beautiful though, right? Let me put that other picture back up. Oh yeah, she's stunning. Yeah, but we knew that. But of course, we here because it's Diddy's judgment day. Okay. The diddler is here to be judged. And from what I heard, from some people, he acted out today. He acted out. I mean, I'm talking audacity, okay? And we're going to get into all of that. So let me drop this picture down to let you know that we are shouting out Inner City Press. As always, Matthew Russell Lee of Inner City Press giving us the scoop from inside the courtroom. And we in court. That's all that's all I got to say. And I'm going to just keep this train going because from what I could see scrolling through this, there's a lot. All right. So let's just sit back, relax, get your popcorn, your wine, whatever it is you enjoy as you relax. Just don't fall asleep. Okay. I will be coming back and forth for comments. I can't see them when I'm on the page reading, but go ahead and give it to me, child. Let me know what you're thinking as I'm reading through this. Okay. So Matthew starts off this morning. Now, this was 8 hours ago. On the East Coast. He says, okay, U.S. versus Sean Combs, May 13th, Cassie on deck after cross of escort Philip. So you remember the escort Philip was on trial on the stand yesterday when court adjourned. So they're picking up with his cross-examination today. And I believe following his testimony, Cassie will be up. And there may be some court business to tend to as well. But let's get into it and let's see what Matthew gives us today. All rise, motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's rewind. All rise. Yeah, we got to give the court respect. My bad. Judge Submaranian says, let's try to get through these issues efficiently as we have the jurors waiting. We have a letter from a juror that we will make Court Exhibit 1. On the videos, when will they be offered into evidence? AUSA Johnson says, this afternoon. Boy, get ready for the Freakoff, child. The judge says, this is about evidence that is coming into the case. The public has a right to know what is happening at trial. I don't see how we would navigate that concern. There's a potential impact on the jurors of signaling some evidence requires sealing. AUSA Johnson says, we just wouldn't show the videos to the courtroom gallery, and the jurors and everyone in the well would wear headphones. These materials are sexually explicit or involve nudity. One has submitted a letter here. So there's a letter that was submitted. I could go to Pacer. I don't want to interrupt the flow of the courtroom. I'm just going to go through this as if we're in the courtroom. But I do know that the press submitted a letter, some members of the press, asking if they could have 3 representatives to view the Freakoff footage because they want to be able to report the footage accurately. And, it's really only for the eyes of the jury. And so I think the prosecution was against that, of course. And, but let's read through. Let's see how this goes. And then after the fact, our girl Khadijah Lynn on TikTok has the letters so we can hear exactly what these perverts were talking about. All right. So Agnifilo, Combs' defense attorney, he said this is adult pornography. That's what this is. So it's narrowly tailored. Our application is only that the visual images and the audio is within the ambit of the sealing order. We would ask questions tastefully. What would the NYT or WSG, New York Times, or women's, what is the WSG? I can't think of it. I know I know it. Anyway, it is a publication. What would they do with this? And it says, note, they are not the only press. Well, they're the only ones that Agnifilo is acknowledging at this point. And then he goes on to say, sometimes things get unsealed and published. So it sounds like the defense wants this published. They do want all the press, if they had their way, to see, hear, and taste, if they could, what happened in these Freakoffs, because they feel like Cassie enjoyed the Freakoffs, or they are trying to spin the narrative. I don't know if they really believe it, but they want to present her as someone who enjoyed her time during these Freakoffs and who was engaging and as well, just as equally as parts as Diddy. Okay. So the judge says, on the 2 incidents with Miss Ventura, when we discussed this last week, then the defense jumps in. The assault in Connecticut, messages between Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs, it's relevant. The judge said, let's see if there's any issue. AUSA Johnson said it should be excluded. So there's an assault in Connecticut, y'all. I wonder if that's the Kid Cudi thing. Okay. Then Tenny Garrigo's defense attorney says he suspected she was cheating on him. She did not answer her phone. She got into a bar fight and tried to unalive someone. So it's relevant to his suspicions and her substance abuse outside of their sexual relationship. She was taking drugs while close with her family in another state. The judge said, I overruled the government's objection. This can be asked about. Now, prior consistent statements, we're talking about a sequencing issue. Are they on direct or in rebuttal? AUSA Johnson says in their opening, they said Ms. Ventura made her own choices. They asked, Who really had control in this relationship? Clearing, begging the answer that it was Miss Ventura. Exhibit B315, the threat to release the sex tape. They said only she had it. Yeah, they did say that. Combs' attorney, Alexander Shapiro, says, we submit that these are hearsay until redirect. The judge said, if they come in, they're in. You don't object? Shapiro said, we do. What we said in the opening was that Mr. Combs, the judge interrupts. You seem to say she was lying about threats to release videos. Shapiro says the predicate for prior consent statements hasn't been met. The judge says, I find that it has for this exhibit. The defense opening said there will be millions of reasons for people to testify here. That's the attack that was used as to B316-2. But the standard has not yet been reached as to B332 and 339. Okay, get Mr. Phillip in the witness box, then bring in the jury. All rise. Combs is Xavier Donaldson. This is the newer attorney. He said, so to continue, you return to the Gramercy Hotel? And Phillip said, yes. Remember, he's the male escort. They have him as male dancer Phillip. He said, yes. While you and Cassie Ventura were having sex. Oh, and let me also throw a trigger warning out there. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this, you are already aware that this is there's some raunchy things being discussed here. Some people can't handle it. And I'm just going to read through this without tiptoeing around it. So I'm just letting you know, if you're sensitive to this stuff, you might want to peace out. And that's to you, Nia X. All right. All right. So Donaldson is cross-examining Phillip. While you and Miss Cassie were having sex for hours, Ms. Ventura took the lead? He said no. Donaldson said, you took the lead? He said, we were equally doing our thing. There wasn't a leader. You decided together? He said, yes. Fair to say she was in complete control of everything she was doing, ? He says, I can't say that. You did not wear a condom? I did not. Wow. Your boss told you Miss Cassie Ventura paid for the hotel? He said, yes. She paid with her credit card? He said, I have nothing to do with that. She used her card to pay for the dancer. Okay, that assault at her apartment on 11th Avenue. He said, I believe it was West End Avenue. You claim Mr. Combs told her to come over. She said she had her personal information on the computer. So wait a minute. And he threw a bottle at her? Correct. He comes out and says, are you ready? And then Phillip says, are you guys ready? Donaldson continues, isn't it true Mr. Combs told you, yo, man, I'm going to have to deal with this. You need to get the F out. He said, that is not correct. In 2023, didn't you tell prosecutors? He said, yo, man, and the government objects. Objection not in evidence. The judge sustains the objection. You can only use it to try to refresh his recollection. The judge is up here teaching at the same time, child. Didn't y'all go to law school? Okay. So Donaldson continues. Read it to yourself. Does it refresh you? Phillip says, I do not remember saying that. What am I reading here? Get the F out? The government objects. The judge said, disregard that. Donaldson continues, did you date a model named Melia? He said Malia or Malia. And I didn't say I dated her. We were friends. Donaldson continues, you were with her and saw Cassie with someone, not Mr. Combs? He said, yes. You told Malia you saw Cassie socially? He said, yes. You thought Cassie wanted to see you one-on-one, nothing to do with Sean Combs, right? I don't see what you mean. In front of the Dream Hotel, that's what you thought. He said no. You only saw her inebriated one time? I saw her passed out on the couch. Mr. Combs told me. I don't think it was going to happen today. Donaldson continues, the time with the other male, you rotated? Not correct. You watched? Yes. You said Mr. Combs was directing, but do you recall meeting the prosecutors on March 28, 2025 and telling them you didn't recall Mr. Combs giving directions about positions? Yes. So he didn't direct. Incorrect. You thought you were in a relationship with Cassie, didn't you? Let me say that again. You thought you were in a relationship with Cassie, didn't you? No. You wanted to get along with her, to date her. If she let me, I would have. You'd get jealous of Mr. Combs? No. Did you not tell them that Mr. Combs would tell you it's my turn? The government objects. Objection. Can we have a sidebar? So they have a sidebar. And then Donaldson comes back. Didn't you tell the government that you would feel jealous because you liked Miss Ventura romantically? I don't recall that. Put up 35 to 70. The government says just for the parties. Philip says, I do not recall that. Donaldson says nothing further. The judge says redirect. So the government comes up. Please explain why you now say Mr. Combs directed you. He asked about positions, but Mr. Combs did tell us what to do. Use baby oil. I got to take this call real quick. Hold on one second, y'all. All righty then. Sorry about that. Okay. Now I have a hard stop because somebody needs something. All right, let me see. Where are we? Okay. The timing of this is the government redirecting. The timing of handing of cash. How did the amount compare to your stripping services? $3,800 more. How much were you paid to perform when you could? $700 to $5,000 or $6,000. And when you couldn't perform, they paid me nothing then. Did Miss Ventura call you after the Dream Hotel? Yes. Do you know who she was with? No. Did she answer your text messages? Never. Almost. You said you wanted to hug her. Why? I could see she was afraid. What did you do? I could not engage. I was messed up. What did Mr. Combs say to you? He said it's time for you to go. In the Gramercy Hotel, who was in the room? Sean Combs, myself, and Cassie. When she appeared to enjoy herself, was Sean Combs always in the room? Yes. Was that the same man who called her a bitch and beat her? I did not see the beating, I presume. Donaldson objects. Objection. The judge sustains. The government says, you heard slapping. Philip says, yes. The government says nothing further. The judge asks if there's recross. Donaldson says briefly. He asks, this document, do you see where you said I'm on the Upper West Side? She says, 10 West End Ave. Hit me when you're there. Philip says, yes. Donaldson says, do you see, what is happening? Do you see your text? Don't give a F. I'm a little tipsy. I love y'all in word. He said, yes. Donaldson says, and that was after the beating? He said, yes. Nothing further. Redirect. The government is back up. Why did you write that? I wanted them to see I had no problem with what he had done. It keep it going. No further questions. The government asked for a sidebar before the next witness. The judge says yes. So they have their sidebar. The judge says, jurors, take a break. We have some issues to deal with. The jurors leave. Combs is Ana Maria Estevio. I'm going to say Ana Maria. Ana Maria said, we'd like Miss Ventura's husband not to be allowed in the courtroom during her testimony. We may need to call him as a witness later, depending on the direct. Prosecution Johnson says, I'm not sure how Mr. Fine's testimony would be relevant. The judge says, Ms. Garagos? Why is he asking Ms. Garagos? And she's not the only lawyer there. Anyway, Tenny Garagos says, give me 15 seconds. If he wants to come into the courtroom today, but we ask that he be excluded when the testimony gets into post 2018. Prosecutor Johnson says, in my initial examination, I will ask about post 2018, but only about devices. The judge asks, Ms. Garagos? She says, that's okay. The judge said, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So it's clear that the judge is deferring to Tenny Garagos. But I thought Mark Agnifilo was the lead attorney. But anyway, let me come over and see if y'all have any comments. Okay, let me come up here. All right, motherfuckers. Yeah, Juti said, what? The press has nerve. Screw the press wanting to make money on this abuse. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Faye said, I feel like I'm actually in the courtroom. Thank you so much. I'm doing my best. Take your time. It will calm my rage. This lawyer is annoying me. Baby Yoda said, no, keep going. LOL. I'm going to keep going. I'm about to keep plowing right through. Thank you for the bells, Wild Wang. Yes, I need my bell. It calms me. Talk about calming. Definitely prayers for Cassie. Diddy's defense is terrible. You'll be surprised at some of the comments some people are making after being in court, actually, with regard to, I'll just let y'all hear it yourself, because some people, I'm just like, wow, I thought you were smart. Anyway, let's get back to the testimony. To the courtroom. We haven't gotten, our next witness is not up yet, but the judge is back. All rise. Prosecutor Johnson says the government calls Cassandra Ventura. She takes the stand extremely pregnant. I'm just going to throw this picture up there real quick for a minute, in case anyone's popping in. They know we are on Cassie's testimony. She takes the stand extremely pregnant. AUSJ Johnson asks, how old are you? Ventura says 38. What is it? What is your work? Musician and entertainer. How long were you with Sean? 10 years. That's a long time. That's your whole youth. Okay. Did you get in arguments? Yes. It would result in violence, dragging. What else did he do? Stomp me in the head as if I was down? How frequently was he violent? Too frequently. I would get black eyes and bruises. Let me show you a video. Then they show the LA hotel elevator lobby beat down video. And the government says, where is this? She says the Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after Freakoff. What does that entail? The hiring of an escort, setting it up. How did you feel when he first asked for it? Confused, nervous? I wanted to make him happy. Did you agree to one when he first proposed one? Yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. I didn't know what no could turn into. What do you mean? Making him angry. What were you afraid would happen if you said no? Though through time, he had blackmail materials. What did you give the government? She said laptops with an S, plural. I've handed up GXB. Do you recognize it? Yes, I've reviewed this drive. It has communication and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. Did you review photos on it? Yes. What's this photo? Me in 2004 with Carrie Morgan. When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? 2006. It was a 10-album deal. 10 albums. She obviously had no advice, no counsel, and she was young and naive because nobody should ever sign a 10-album deal. I know that was probably what they did back in the day. Okay, let me go on. The government asked, did you release any after late 2006? She said no. Who is in this photo? Kim Porter. She was Sean's ex from before me and the mother of his children. Where did you celebrate your birthday in this photo? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We are out on his patio on my 21st birthday, the VMAs. Carrie Morgan, is that the guy who she was with before, and he was also her manager? I can't think of his name, his actual, like his artist name. But anyway, so they were together on his patio on her 21st birthday at the VMAs, or after the VMAs, maybe. The government asked, what happened then? She said, Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to my hotel. I told Carrie. When you got back to New York, I'd visit him in the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. What were you doing with your music career? Trying to come up with the concept. Sean called a lot of the shots. What's the age difference between you and Sean? 17 years. 17 years. How did you feel when Sean invited you to hotels? Nervous? Excitement? We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Oh, yeah. Did you visit Sean in Miami? Yes. I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. Okay, we know Dallas is a producer as well. What did you and Sean do together? Sexual intercourse. He gave me blue dolphin ecstasy on a boat. Had you once before taken ecstasy unintentionally? Yes. How did you take ecstasy unintentionally? It was in Gatorade. When you took it intentionally with Sean, how did it feel? Like rolling? At the time, what did you think? That they were spending a lot of time together, that we were spending a lot of time together. I thought we were monogamous. Was it made public? No, I was his artist, also his family, his children. Who was linked to him publicly? Kim Porter. How did Sean treat you at this time? We had fun. What was his lifestyle like? He had all these assistants. He could get things done. He traveled quite a bit. What's this photo? Sean and I at a strip club in New York, like 2007 or 2008, Halloween. How did Sean's moods vary? Day to day. When it swung, could you describe it? Anger, zoning out. How did it impact you? Greatly. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. There was also psychological abuse. He'd tell me, watch my mouth, change my face. Like a parent talking to a child. That's coming from me. The government asked, how would he keep tabs on you? She said, we didn't live far apart. He sent security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? She said, David James, Christina Courtroom. Oh boy. Was your relationship exclusive? She said, no. Did you see other men? She said, yes. Did Sean see other women? Yes. He said, I am Puff Daddy. I was insanely jealous. Did you move to LA with him? Yes. He wanted to be close to his kids who were there. Where did you live in LA? 875 Comstock Avenue, Wilshire Corridor condos, it says in parentheses. How tall was the building? No more than 17 floors. And where does Sean live? 200 South Mapleton. Sean would use a golf cart to get back and forth. Who paid your rent in LA? Sean, except when I had the house in Studio City. Why'd you pay then? I could afford it then, and I wanted to have some control. It was accepted. By whom? Sean. How many songs did you write while with Sean? Hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet, some on mixtapes. How many albums on your deal were not released? 9. So 1 album out of 10, 1 was released out of 10. Wow. Did you get paid for them? No. The Freakoffs became a job. There was no time to do anything else but do them and try to recover. How much time in your week would Freakoffs take? The longest was 4 days, significant periods of time. The judge said, we'll break here. The judge even had to take a break, child. 4 days out of the 7-day week? How did Diddy get anything done? That's what I want to know. But from what I understand, he claims to be the producer on all these songs, but he don't play instruments. He comes in, he might add, he might add a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Ad lib, or say, try this instrument here, and then he puts producer on there. So he didn't really do much. So it doesn't actually surprise me at this point that he had all this time for Freakoffs. Anyway, let me come back and see if y'all have something to say, child. This is crazy. 4 days is insane. Juti said she was so innocent. My goodness, 17 years. That's a lot. Poor Cassie. Damn. Yep. Child, 17 years is a lot. Okay, let's keep going, child. Okay, 1:16 p.m. East Coast time. They're back. The judge says, welcome back. Prosecution asks, who was your manager at Bad Boy Records? She said, James Cruz. And I understand, y'all, he's going to testify on her behalf, by the way. The government asks, what did he tell you? That he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything with Sean. How did you make money if your records weren't being released? I did hosting parties when Sean approved them. What comments did Sean make about your physical appearance? That I look too Mexican with my hair like that. How did he like your nails? White, French tipped, hair? It varied. I shaved my head in 2009. Your body? He told me to work out, prepare for the Freakoffs. He wasn't even thinking about her being on stage at all. That was her stage, the Freakoffs. The government asked, how did you feel about his comments? She said it varied. What else did Sean pay for? Cars? Did he give you cash? Yes, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. What else would he take away? My self-confidence. Who would take things away? Staff. I assume staff. Defense objects. The judge says jury would disregard that answer. The government asks, who took your laptop and phone? She says security. How long would they be gone for? However long I was being punished for. How often were you in contact with Sean's staff? Daily. Who are in these photos? Christina Courtroom and Miss Fletcher. What did you call Miss Courtroom? KK. Oh, they building up to KK. And who is this? D-Rock. He was Sean's security. How frequently were you in Sean's residences? All the time. Did they all have safes? Yes. What did you observe in them? Cash, jewelry, cameras, and videotapes, GUNs in New York, LA, and Miami, and Alpine, New Jersey. Do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Yes, we were having a freak off in LA. D-Rock came in and said Suge was in town at a dinner. Sean drove over there. What was your reaction? I cried. I said, don't do something stupid. Where did we read about this somewhere else? And in that story, she brought up the GUN, said that he grabbed it or told her to put it in her purse or something when they went out. Okay. Oh, here we go. I'm ahead of myself, child. The government asked, were you ever handed a GUN? She said, yes. We were doing a club in downtown LA. We taken mushrooms. I was high. I was told to put the GUN in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was present? A driver, security, and Sean. Another time, I saw them get dressed and grab GUNs and leave in an SUV. How long were they gone? 30 or 40 minutes. Let me switch topics. How soon in the relationship did Sean mention voyeurism to you? First 6 months or a year? How old were you? 22. Why did you agree to try a freak off? Good question. I wanted to make him happy. Where was the first freak off? One of his homes in Los Angeles. 2A to 62, 627. Who is this? The first escort. Do you know his name? No. I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware that he was paid? Yes, to dance and have intercourse with me. What drugs did you take? Ecstasy and alcohol before things started. Did you disguise your appearance? Sean said we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. What was a session in a freak off? Until the escort finished. How many sessions with first escort? At least 2. How did you feel? I was high, so I didn't feel much. Dirty and confusion at that, and that he was happy with me. Why did you feel you couldn't say no? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he shared this part of himself with me. How frequent did the freak offs become? Weekly for a consistent amount of years? When was your last one? 2017, 2018. How long were you awake during the freak offs? I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy and Molly, cocaine. Do you recall all of the freak offs? That would be impossible. Did you want to stop? Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. And there she sobs, it says. Did you tell him you didn't want to? Yes. I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Were you able to express your concerns to him? Objection leading. The defense objects. The judge says to rephrase. Why would you talk to him gently? I didn't want him to be angry. What is this? Email between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop Pop. Why? He asked me what I call my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. What the hell? What the hell? The government asked, what did you write? And she said, I really need to F. And they asked her, why did you write that? Because I wanted to be with him. I'll read your messages. You read yours. So they go on. So this is supposed to be Sean. The government is reading his part. You don't want to do anymore? She says, I'm so predictable. What did you think this meant? That he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Why? To not make him angry. He could be violent. Where'd you get your outfit? Pleasure chest. Elsewhere. Did you get piercings? Yes, Sean came with me. Which of his homes did you have freakouts in? Miami, New York? What other homes? My homes, all but Studio City. And what other cities? Atlanta, Ibiza. And what hotels in New York did you have freakoffs? Trump, Gramercy, Intercontinental, 44th Street, yes. Elsewhere, Mandarin Oriental, Fontainebleau. What names were used? Jackie Starr, I used. Frank Black. What supplies for freak-offs? Astroglide, baby oil, condoms. Who brought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson's. How was it used? Sean said, you need to be glistening. I don't mean to laugh at this. It's not funny, but come on. The government asked, where were there freak-offs where you ran out of baby oil? The defense objects. Your Honor, this is irrelevant. The government asked, you also mentioned Astroglide. The defense says, same objection, irrelevant. The judge says, sidebar. What is all this baby oil talk? The government said, okay, so they have their sidebar, which we're not privy to that. So when they continue, the government asked, we were just talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Ventura said, lubricant. If you ran out, what? We call either staff or the bell desk, give them a tip. Were the freak-offs lit? Oh, I thought she meant lit as in like, okay, she means lighting. Ventura says, initially it was candle, strong smelling, Glade. Any other use of candle wax? A few times poured on my body. Who set the temperature of the room? Sean. I was expected to do freak-offs on my, I guess I can say period, on my period. Did you want to do that? No. Did you want to be urinated on? The defense says, objection. Judge says, grounds. Judge is like, I'm trying to hear this. What's the problem? The defense says, asked and answered. The judge overruled. Ventura said, no, I did not want it. The government said, how did it feel? She said, it was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. The government asked, why were you choking? Oh, Jesus. She said, too much urine in my mouth. The government asked, who else urinated on you? She said, Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Now, mind you, her husband is in here as well. He was also in the courtroom yesterday. Okay, so let's go on. The government says, which hotel charged the most for damage to the room? She said the Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. The government says, back to the urination. And the judge says, Ms. Johnson, only a few more questions. And then she continues, why didn't you say no? Ventura said, it was obvious. I didn't want to be the one on the ground being urinated on by two men. The government asked, where did you find escorts? Ventura said, initially Craigslist. Jesus, where the killers are? Okay, the judge said, we'll take a break here. Okay, let me come over and see if y'all have questions. Juti, okay, Juti's angry. Hey, baby girl, love queen. Hey, y'all dropping in to listen while I can. Love you too, girl. I will be talking to you later, hopefully. 4 days without sleeping. Sounds like it. Maybe some cat naps. Hey, Shamina, good to see you. You didn't get a notification. Oh my goodness. YouTube been doing me dirty since R. Kelly child. Right. I'm with you, Juti. Okay, let's continue this. Judge Submaranian said, ready, all rise. The government continues, Ms. Ventura, in what cities did you respond to ads on Craigslist? She said, in New York. Did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? She said, yes. Who directed you to communicate with escorts? Objection. This is the defense, of course. The government continues, who, if anyone, and the defense says, same objection, assumes a fact not in evidence. The government says, did you ever reach out to escorts independently? She said, no. Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? One couldn't perform, so Sean sent him on. I wonder why. I wonder if they were intimidated. The government asked, what was a safe escort? Ventura said, not a cop, and someone who not run and tell everyone about their experience with us. Why not a cop? I learned this whole situation was not legal. Objection, the defense says. The judge said, jury will disregard that last answer. The government asked, how did Cash get there? The judge said security, or he brought it himself. The judge said that? No, the judge just answered the questions. Oh, man. Ventura. Wait, it says Ventura, and then it says judge, security, or he brought it himself. So she said it. Okay. The government said, the escort, Dave, do you know his real name? She said, Clayton Howard. Who is this? Photo shown to witness. Daniel. What service did you use? A dancer service. Did you recognize Jules? Yes. In what city did you have freak-offs with Jules? New York, LA, Vegas. Do you know his last name? No. Who is this? I knew him as the Punisher. Oh no. Did you use drugs at every freak-off? Yes. I need to disassociate and become emotionless. Who else used drugs at freak-offs? Sean did, sometimes the escort. What other drugs did you use? Special K, GHB, mushrooms. Special K, I believe that's ketamine. The government said, I'll read Sean's parts of this email. You read you. She says, when should I take the thing? When will you be there? The the government says, pausing you there. What did you mean? Drugs. Okay. The government says, asked Sean, I took mine. I'm flying. What does he mean? He's high. Why did you take more drugs? To not be present with the experience. Why? Because it was something I hated. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It could make me vomit. What would he say? To continue. Did you want to continue to have intercourse when you wanted to vomit? No. How does GHB make you feel? Drunk, tipsy, cocaine? Makes my heart race. I'm not a huge fan. Mushrooms, the walls come alive. Okay, the judge said, we'll take a break. The judge needs another break, child. Okay, I think this might be wrapping up because it says it's 4:15 p.m. East Coast. Cassie Ventura is back. Jury is back. The judge says you may continue. The government says, when drugs ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? She says, Sean would tell me. The government said, during the session, how would you know to move to the next step? Sean. What would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want to put, Sean would want it put on his body in the next room. What? The government asked, did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples. Did you want to do that? No. How did you feel? I was an object being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime. Were some sessions recorded on your devices? Because they were there. If you saw them on your device, what would you do? I would delete them. Why? They were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. Were Sean's devices used sometimes? Yes, I asked him to delete them. Did he? I don't know. Did you ever leave a freak-off before it was over? Yes, at the Century City Intercontinental, I finally had a premiere coming up, and I didn't want to mess it up. But Sean hit me. At what point did Sean hit you? Between sessions. What happened next? I got to the elevator. Next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground. Who threw you down? Sean. He grabbed me by my neck and my hoodie. Let me show you the video. So they show the hotel hallway video again. The government said, what are you doing? She said, trying to use the hotel phone. What is Sean doing? Taking my phone and my bag. Now the judge says, we'll break for the day. And now the jury is gone. And the judge says, what about pool reporters seeing the videos? The government says, we oppose that, and Jane does too. Judge says, I am provisionally denying any pool viewing. That's my reading of Maxwell. Oh, the Ghislaine Maxwell book. What? He's referring to Ghislaine Maxwell's book? Okay. So it sounds like that was the end. Now, there was a lot that wasn't in here that I already had heard of happening, for instance. But let me just play a couple things so just to let you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Is it Khadijah Lynn? Let's see.
Cassie Ventura is set to testify against Diddy today. It is day 2 of the Diddy trial, and now the biggest star witness, Cassie Ventura, is about to testify later on today against Diddy. I expect that this testimony is probably going to be one of the longest testimonies, since we know that Cassie Ventura is the star witness and she was in a relationship with Diddy for over 10 years. Cassie Ventura's testimony is going to be a lot. She's probably going to be very emotional because we know she is very pregnant and she is having to relive all of her trauma all over again. And I am very curious to see how Diddy's team cross-examines Cassie Ventura. Since she's very pregnant, I'm wondering if they are still going to try to grill her, because that will not look good to the jury. During Cassie Ventura's testimony is when the exhibits will be shown, pictures, text messages, and even the Freakoff videos will be played for the jury. Now, because of the explicit nature of these Freakoff tapes, they are supposed to be sealed only to the jury and not to be seen by the public. Last night, some mainstream media put in a motion to the judge to ask them to have reporters in the room so they can report what happened in these Freakoff tapes in real time. All of these big news organizations, such as the Associated Press, the Business Insider, the New York Times, they requested that each one get to have 3 reporters inside that are going to be able to watch these videos in real time. That way they can report back information. Cassie and her lawyer did respond very quickly to the judge, saying, no, this is supposed to be sealed evidence because the explicit nature, only to the jury. They don't want people from the press actually watching and hearing these videos. But it says in Cassie Ventura's testimony, she is going to describe these videos in detail in an open courtroom and will be subject to cross-examination. The defense will be able to question Cassie on what the sealed videos depict. So Cassie Ventura and her lawyer are saying during her testimony, she is going to get into a lot of detail about these Freakoff videos, and she is also going to be asked questions about it during Diddy's cross-examination of her. So they don't feel like the press should be able to watch these sealed videos that are supposed to be only for the jury's eyes. While the media is claiming this is something that they need to report on because these Freakoff videos have been talked about for a long time, so they want reporters in that room to be able to watch and hear what is happening on these videos in real time. Another big thing that I didn't see anybody talk about yesterday was the fact that Cassie Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, was already in the courtroom hearing all of these graphic details about what happened between Cassie and Diddy. I do have to say, Cassie Ventura has one heck of a husband. Like, this man is super strong to be able to sit in this court trial and listen to all of these horrific details come out about his wife's past and Diddy's past. I assume Alex Fine probably already knew a lot of these details. He has been somebody that has been very vocal on his Instagram for Cassie Ventura. Diddy's trial today will start off again with that second witness, the male worker who is testifying. So he is going to continue giving his testimony, and then this is when we will probably see Cassie Ventura take the stand. And this one is going to be one of the biggest testimonies against Diddy throughout this whole entire trial. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Cassie Ventura.
In the comments. Now, with regard to Alex Fine, her husband, apparently Diddy challenged him non-verbally in the courtroom when he was being discussed. I think he came into the courtroom. They said at one point, Diddy just, I don't know if that was when he stood up or if he stood up when the jury was either coming or going. He stood up and eyeballed and like glared at the jury. There's a lot of talk about how he glares at people one-on-one in the eyes, as if it's like a staring contest and who's going to stop staring first type thing. And also the fact that he stood up to look at the jury. And then yesterday as well, he reacted apparently when Mark Agnifilo wasn't able to. Mark Agnifilo, during the jury selection phase of things, he was trying to be slick a couple times. I think I caught it when we were reading it. But he, instead of trying to cut the alternates, he was trying to cut actual jurors, and the government caught him and took it to the judge, and he couldn't answer to it. According to, I think it was Tisa Tell, she said he was stuttering and blubbering, and she said that Diddy pushed back into his chair, frustrated, and was looking at his lawyers like, "What the fuck is this? Like, is this what I'm paying for?" You know what I'm saying? So he's showing his ass, I guess is my point, in the courtroom. And I guess nobody told him that the jury is going to be looking at your every move. They look at your expressions, your body language. It's just a human thing to do. So for him to be acting out like this, it's not going to work in his favor. And I'm surprised he don't listen to nobody. That's the other thing about him. He don't listen to people, and you can tell because I'm pretty sure his lawyers, as smart as they are, told this man to try to keep it cool, keep it cute, keep it cool, don't react. But he's doing the opposite of that from what people are saying. And I want to play something here. Well, let's show the arrivals, I guess. So that's Love's mother, the baby.
His daughter's mother. His daughter's mother is live right here.
Chance's mother.
His daughter's mother. His baby mom. Family friend. Tap it up right here.
Mama Combs' baby.
Mama Combs.
It's Miss Combs.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, Miss Combs. God bless you. Girls, hang in there. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Young Diddy.
Not young Diddy. Not young Diddy. We're not gonna call this kid young Diddy at the courthouse. Justin looks like he's getting a little bald on top, probably from the stress. And when I was when I was reading Cassie's testimony and they asked her, "How are you making money?" She said, "I was doing club hosting when he would allow it." It reminded me of that phone call where we weren't sure if it was an authentic phone call between Diddy and King Combs while Diddy was locked up. But when King Combs questioned him about Justin's finances, he said something like, Justin's, he's having problems paying for his car or something like that. And he said, "Go tell that nigga to go host some clubs." I just was like, wow. And I almost questioned, no, I don't think he would say something like that. But now I do believe he would say something like that about his son, Justin.
What the word? Focus. Y'all stay focused. God bless. Girls, stay focused. Keep your head up. This is live footage. Kids, keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up.
So those were the arrivals, or the departures, shall I say, today. Now, this guy, I like this guy. He's a comedian. I've been following him on TikTok for a minute because he's one of the ones who recorded those investigators visiting him at home, questioning him about the narrative he's spinning. And we assumed it was Diddy, but it might have been Jay-Z, child, because all that stuff seemed to go away when Jay-Z's name stopped coming up in the press. But anyway, this is his take on today. And this is somebody I was talking about earlier, but listen to what he has to say.
Okay, guys, so I just came out of the Diddy trial. Got a ton of notes for you guys. I'm going to break down these videos. I got to get out of NYC though, but I hate to say it. The bottom line is people who came to watch the case were walking out. I hate to say it. We were getting bored in there with Cassie's testimony. I think everybody thought it was going to be explosive. This is a RICO case. They're trying to show trafficking, if you know what I mean. And I hate to say it, but the government is doing a terrible job at showing it. Now, they are showing, yes, domestic violence. They keep asking her, so at these Freakoffs, who selected your outfits? Who did Diddy? But they're not showing, okay, this escort was taken, traveled here for this. And it's not showing multiple people involved. All you're seeing the government prove is that Diddy committed domestic violence, but that is a state case that is not need a federal trial. So I hate to say it, guys. We know we don't want this, but I think Diddy could get off on the RICO charges. I'm not seeing it. I could be wrong, but the government is just not doing a great job. I stepped out because I'm just dying in there. It is really hard. It's hard to write all day. I will have more info on stuff for you guys. Cassie broke down on the stand crying, basically just saying that she loves the diddler and she would do anything for him. And I hate to say it, but I think the defense is going to come back and say, well, this is a case of somebody who is just so in love that she would say, literally, I just wanted to make him happy. I didn't want him to be angry or upset because he didn't know what could happen. And so I think the defense is going to get up there and say, look, you were just so in love with him. You would do anything he asked you to. Well, guess what? That's not, that was your choice. That's what they're going to say is you were an adult and you made that choice, whether good or bad, you made that choice to do anything for him for love. So I don't know, Patriots. I got to get out of here. I'll get you guys more. Wish me luck. I love you guys. I will keep you updated and I will be back here.
So, this guy, he calls himself Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Now, I commented, it's still early, sir. It's not a movie. Okay. Somebody said, getting bored at someone's trauma. Yikes, America, we're too numb. I agree with that. Somebody said, it's only day 2 of 8 weeks. Let the government cook. Somebody said, attorney here. This is only day 2 with a bunch of exclamation points. So he, describing himself as, I had to walk out. It's a lot of writing. He's somebody who clearly isn't somebody who can focus on one thing. He might have ADHD. He can't focus on one thing at a time. I'm curious to know if he graduated from college. And I'm only saying that because it takes a lot of patience and concentration and focus when you are taking notes and trying to pay attention to a person or a topic for a long period of time. Court reporting is not for the faint of heart. Trust, I've done it. Okay. As a matter of fact, I was arguing with people on X today or Twitter about Tory Lanez because I remember I mentioned he was stabbed. Well, we have more details about that stabbing, but people are in there saying, well, he's innocent anyway. I can't wait till he comes home. But where are you getting that he's innocent? I was literally in the courtroom front row for the whole trial. I took extensive notes. I went live twice a day. Some of that stuff is burned into my memory. Yeah, it does get boring. Some things do get boring because it's a process and it's the proceeding of the trial proceeding day to day. There's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of moving parts. And there's a lot of legalese, and we're not legal people. So we don't, it's not our thing. So, but for him to say this so early on says to me, he's naive to this process. And also, what were you expecting? Like I said, it's not a movie. Somebody else said it's not a TV show. Like, this is real life. And the government has to build up. They have to introduce certain people so that, because that's telling us these people are going to probably testify. There's a reason they're bringing up what's her name? KK and Dave Cruz, I think his name was, because these people are going to be on the stand. Okay. Now, let me come over to y'all, see if anybody has anything to say. Okay. Hey, Ray. Yes, the Punisher child. Yes, the man juice UT on the boy's nipples, the man's nipples. Yes, her husband is amazing, standing strong for the woman he loved. Yep. I'm so happy and relieved she gets to experience what love really is. That's true as well. Love Queen said, pufferfish mammy looks stupid. I don't want to know who left the gate open on her wig. Oh, wow. Wayne said the guilty crew. Talking about the family. They need to have patience and they need to stop focusing on the sex. Exactly. Yeah. Leave Mama Pufferfish alone, y'all. She going through it. Exactly, Michelle. It takes time. This thing it's not slated out for 6 to 8 weeks for no reason. If it was going to be a slam dunk like that, I mean, you know, it wouldn't even have had all this pomp and circumstance. Like, I was really surprised to hear him say that because typically I agree with a lot of his takes on different things, but he just sounds like somebody who's impatient. He's not used to sitting for long periods of times, especially taking notes and having to pay attention. And he probably already has preconceived notions in his mind and he's waiting to get to them. It's only day 2. Again, she hasn't wait, you know, she's going to get cross-examined and then once all the government's witnesses, they say they have over 100 witnesses. Once their witnesses are up and after they're cross-examined and they rest their case, then the defense is going to have witnesses too. And it's going to be the same thing with the government crossing and the redirecting. And this is a long situation happening here. So I don't know why he decided to say that. Let me see. I did have something I wanted to show about Diddy and his temperament, but let me see. I think it was Tisa Tells. Let me see if I have that up. Okay, this is from yesterday. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was this one.
On Diddy's team, this was a man. He was actually really, really good. He knows procedure and he's really, really good with objections. Okay. So he came in and he like literally was going in on Philip, saying, didn't you say you were jealous? Didn't you say you were in love with Cassie? Didn't you say Diddy never directed y'all? And he was like, the guy was like, incorrect. And he was like, let me direct your attention. And he brought up an interview he had did with the federal prosecutors in the.
We read that in the courtroom. Let me just find the part about. Hold on.
What's wrong with that man, right? He literally stood up in court, right?
Here we go. Let's see.
Okay, so what else happened? Okay, Diddy being something wrong with that man, right? He literally stood up in court, right? He stood up in court. Hey, Allie, welcome to the Tattletales family. Thank you for becoming a member. I'll take questions in a second. I've had time. I'm just trying to get this out before I have to go back into court, okay? We are live from the courthouse. I kind of wanted this, but it's raining, so. But
girl.
Hi, sir. So we were like, listen. Deborah said, girl, we know you have a 5-second attention span. They cannot interrupt you. You're right. I was about to ask, like, what are they serving in the cafeteria? What's going on? Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah, that's right. Talking trash. So anyway, let me get my notebook out because I took notes on this. Actually, I don't need my notebook. I'm going to give y'all my memory. I'll go into notes later on. So all of a sudden, they said, okay, so Cassie's the next person to take the stand. Now, we heard this because the attorneys had a sidebar, right? I could hear them talking. Cassie was about to take the stand. And at the last minute, Diddy's trifling team was like, honestly, Your Honor, Tinny Garrigo stood up. Your Honor, honestly, I really don't know. No, they said, we want to invoke, it was rule I don't know, let's just say it's rule 16. I forget the name of the rule. But they were like, yo, we want to invoke the rule. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, that's the rule about like whenever there is testimony, you can actually exclude people from court from watching it. And they were like, he was like, what's the basis? They literally said that Alex Fine, they have a bunch of text messages that Alex Fine had sent Diddy back in 2018, basically saying, you MFer, I'm going to F you up if I ever catch you on the street. That's your ASS. He literally was cursing Diddy out. Hey, what's up, Slowrilla? Oh, thank you. You said, love the commentary and personality. Thank you, Slowrilla. Anyway, they said they had text messages from Alex back in 2018 talking about something, oh, I'm going to F you up. I'm going to do this. I better never catch you outside. How about that? And I said, I mean, that's fair enough. He did rescue his wife from being sex trafficked and helped her get sober, held her down. And I'm sure she'd been crying in his man's arms every night about the way Diddy actually treated her, right? So anyway, they said they had messages from Alex back in 2018 saying, MFer, I will break your face open. I will murk you. Like, you know, Alex was on a roll. He was in the trial also. And when Cassie was testifying, we'll get to that, okay? So he was like saying that. And they were like, because of that, he threatened the client's life. And we don't think that he should be in the courtroom. And then they had the nerve to say, they were talking to the judge, right? And this is why y'all gotta tune in live while I'm in the courtroom, because half of the court reporters had already left. I was just being nosy, listening to the sidebar, okay? So they were like, and you know, Diddy just doesn't feel comfortable with Alex in here because he's previously threatened his life. And I said, no, he didn't. Then they went on to say, besides, she already has a support system. She has her family and her brothers here, and he's fine to be here. But Alex, no, we're gonna have to ask him to leave. And I said, listen, one thing that's being established in this trial is Diddy is diabolical. Diddy is maniacal and his need for control. So, for instance, when Philip, that's who testimony in today, Cassie's, but they were friends too. They had a relationship. When I say relationship, maybe not, you know, not romantic, but he definitely cared about her, right? He got up to leave, and this boy is like swole, like he looked like The Rock walking by. Again, dark skin. They said Diddy liked to see those white fingernails wrapped around that BBC, right? So anyway, when he did that and he got off the witness stand and was walking out, Diddy for no reason stood up and just looked at him as he went out. Boy, you are in federal detention. What are you running? Who are you running? I don't know what lullabies those roaches and rats are whispering in your ear, but you need to stop. It was actually really, really ridiculous. So anyway,
so Diddy stood up in court to mad dog this guy, and as well, I believe he did the same thing to her husband, and he also was doing the same thing to the reporters and the jurors. So I don't know what this glare of his he thinks type of effect he thinks this is going to have on people, but it's not going to work in his favor. Is all I have to say. Let me see. Michelle said everyone would say, dang, it's over if they rush through it. Right. Yeah, it's a process. Exactly. So anyway, y'all, listen, we're going to leave this here. Okay. There's a whole bunch more going on, but I'm going to come back tomorrow. Of course, she's going to finish her testimony, and there's going to be a cross exam. And I know that cross exam is going to be vicious. If it wasn't for Cassie, this would not be happening. Diddy would not be locked up. And I'm pretty sure, you know, he blames her for all of this. And his defense team knows it. And they want to prove to Diddy, we got your back. We got this. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see how this gets handled. In the meantime and in between time, I appreciate you. Peace and love. Until next time, bye.